Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all back to Kagekaze's domain. I want to let you guys know I've been doing a lot of looking, searching here, and unfortunately, the answer I found is that, yes, all my characters are gone. That's right, as of patch 16, which is released today, there's a character wipe. So, we're going to continue on, starting fresh. Alright, looking at the patch notes today, I really can't tell you why they felt the need for a character wipe, but there are plenty of things, both documented and undocumented, that might make this interesting. Now, overall, the official patch notes do not have a lot of changes, which is a good thing. That's getting us closer to release. But there are a few real nice things there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change things up, so I apologize to you Monk fans. We're not going to continue with the Monk right now. What I'm going to do is kind of a side-by-side thing with what Blizzard's doing right now. You can check out their reveal site for Diablo 3 at reveal.diablo3.com. And what they're doing is announcing each character class once per week. And the current hero of the week is the Demon Hunter. So I'm going to go ahead and start him up and get him going, and we're going to take a look at some things. There have been some changes to the Demon Hunter, which I like. Which includes some changes to discipline skills. So what we're going to do without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get in there. Actually, before I do that, I want to look and see if they give me my class sigil. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it. So on the reveal site, if you design a banner for that hero, you will get a unique sigil for the class. So for example, the Demon Hunter right now is a crossbow. And every class has its own unique sigil that looks pretty cool. As far as I know, this is the only way to unlock them, so I would recommend each week going to reveal.diablo3.com and making a banner there so that you can get each sigil for each hero. You will have to do one every week for each hero to get it. You'll get an email from Blizzard confirming that you've made it, and that once you basically get the retail game, you should have access to that sigil. So I urge you all to do that if you're interested in them at all. I'm just going to leave that alone for now. We're going to start up. All right, and as usual, we're going to have our kind of startup lag, I'm fairly certain.
The dead reek like this. The fallen star is near.
Okay, new patch means all my options got reset, so let's take care of that now. One thing I noticed from Diablo fans here, languages appear to be selectable and working in the game now. Let's see here. I want health bars, numbers, no tutorials, advanced tooltip, and elective mode. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's see if anything's different here so far. A 3.0 weapon. Now what I want to find out here is what my unarmed damage is, because someone had asked about that. They noticed that I had a slight change in DPS at one point by doing that. 2.82, 3.8. So I have an inherent 2.8 damage. That's interesting. So what I'm going to do when I go through these classes side by side with Blizzard, I'm going to kind of do them as a primer. Hope to get as much information out there as possible for you guys when I do them.
Captain Rumford, more dead are coming. We can't open the gates until we drive them back. They keep coming.
So of course all my achievements are wiped, so can I get lucky and get Gatecrasher? Probably not, right? Too slow. Too slow.
Guards, open the gates. You'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn. Burn those corpses before they rise again.
Alright. New icon here. Healer icon in the upper right hand corner. And again, thanks to Diablo fans for all the wonderful changes, both documented and undocumented. It's a heart. It's kind of hard to tell with the minor icon there. But talk to Malachi here and he will heal you. And so now you can find on the minimap when you need a quick heal. There have been some changes to vendors, so let me go over real fast the general notes here about items. Let's see, one that's going to be nice for the Demon Hunter is that one-handed crossbows has supposedly been buffed. The starter weapon is always 3.0. Every class starts with that, so you won't see it here. I'm going to be interested to see how that does change, though, simply because I already thought that one-handed crossbows were fairly strong. Vendors have been changed a bit. Let's see, class-specific items. They did mention that they made a fix so that when you have a class-specific item, say for like the Demon Hunter, you won't get class-specific affixes for, say, monks. So you won't see spirit generation on your crossbows, which is good. I honestly thought they had made that change earlier, but now we know for sure. All right, first level.
We've been under siege.
And we get Impale. Let's go ahead and put that on. And quickly go over our skills here for anyone new joining us. We've got Hungering Arrow, generates 3 hatred, fires a magically imbued arrow that seeks out targets and does 115% weapon damage, and has a 35% chance to pierce through the target. Wonderful thing about Hungering Arrow is that, of course, it can pierce one target and just double back and hit that same target again. Impale costs 25 hatred, and impales a target for 250% weapon damage. Very straightforward, single target ability. It's really kind of hard to say much else about that until you get runes. Impale is pretty much your go-to ability for hitting things nice and hard. So let's go ahead and use a few of them.
There, that's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
Alright, so as far as our resource goes, obviously I've got my hatred here. I won't have anything for discipline for a few levels. Hatred is, of course, the very fast regenerating resource, and of course, as you can see, I have abilities that will give me more as I use them. Hatred can be generated even if I don't hit anything. So it's going up on its own. If I fire, it goes up even faster. Don't even have to hit anything, which I love about Demon Hunters, honestly. I almost think there's a new sound effect for that. It sounds different to me anyway.
These ones aren't fully grown yet. There must be a nest here. Take care of the lot of you.
Alright, well, since I start over with no gold, I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of these items to sell. They don't sell for much, but I'm going to just go ahead and pick some up for now, because the first waypoint I get, I can always just get rid of them. Alright, so I'm kind of interested here. I don't think I've looked. I want to see what my resource generation is. Okay, discipline is 1 per second, and hatred is 4 per second. Okay, 30 pull for discipline, 125 for hatred. So what's nice about that, and one reason I want to bring that up, is the discipline cost for a lot of abilities has been reduced. Discipline hasn't changed itself. It's been 30, it's always come up at 1 per second. But now, a lot of the abilities we use have been reduced in cost, not by a lot. For example, I think Vault has only lost maybe one, or lost 2 discipline costs, but it's enough to make it so that you can use the abilities more often and not have to hold on to them. Other abilities have been reduced a little more dramatically, though, and you'll see that as I move along. We'll definitely get into that.
The rumors of torture and worse grow every day. What has happened to Tristram and its king? I once thought Leoric a great man, but it seems I was deceived. We all were. He sends our meager army against Wastemarch on the morrow. What will become of us?
Now, I'm going to go ahead and go over this, because I talked briefly about it in the Monk series, about effectively using your resource. When you've got a full resource, and you're a class that depends on resource generation, for example, the Demon Hunter here, he will regen resource over time. Right now, I'm losing resource. I'm full, I've got 125 hatred, but every second I'm generating 4 resource that I can't use. It's just gone. And I'll use the example again that I got from Trebis of Team Trebis from SC2 Noob School. Is think of it like a glass of beer. You've got this glass. You want to drink from it, but that glass is constantly being filled. Now, if you don't drink from that glass, that beer's going to overflow, and it's just going to get all over the place, and you're not going to be able to drink it, and nobody likes wasted beer. Thanks, Trebis. I'm not going to get over that one. Seriously, it's like my favorite analogy as far as resources go.
My hatred is too low.
I'll give him another link. Because he's cool like that. He deserves it. So anyway, before I move on too much further, I do have a new primary, Entangling Shot, 3 hatred generated. Imbue an arrow with shadow energy that deals 75% weapon damage and entangles up to 2 enemies, slowing their movement by 60%. Now, it is total 2 enemies. I made that mistake the first time I tried it. I thought it was 2 additional enemies. It's actually just 2. So the target you hit and an additional target behind it. The beautiful thing is that the 75% weapon damage will be done to both targets every time you hit, even if they're already shackled. One thing I want to point out too that you might have seen here is in normal mode only. This is the wonderful thing. They apparently can change this on the difficulty level. In normal mode, when you swap out skills, you can see there it's only about a 5 to 6 second cooldown now instead of the 15. So in normal mode, they fully expect you to play around with your skills. So if you want to try things out, you may want to go into normal mode to try out some builds or something like that, just to let you swap them in and out between combat to just see how they feel. Of course, after a while, you won't be able to, do too much with that because they'll die too quickly. But it's a good thing to know that during normal mode, you can swap your stuff on the fly without much penalty. It's not until later that they want you to start using your builds, such as when you get Nephilim Valor.
All of these chests are empty. Something isn't right here.
Alright, so back to the resource generation example. The wonderful thing about Demon Hunters 2 is we also have abilities to gain back resource. So when you're near the top, not only do you have to be mindful about the fact that you're generating resource over time, is that you have to keep in mind that you're also generating resource every time you shoot. Anytime you hit full, you really want to use an ability. You don't really want to be wasting it. It's usually a good idea to maximize your potential and your efficiency when you start a combat with full resource to go ahead and use a spender rather than, say, a generator. I'm not exactly the best at doing that. I admit there's a lot of times where I will enter combat and I will just use a generator over and over and over again just because either they die quickly or I'm just not thinking about it, I'm just mindlessly clicking. That does happen. So right now it's not coming back too quickly, as you can see, but now I'm at full, so I'll probably want to use one. So you can just maximize your potential that way. Now you don't always have to drain your resource, because there are certain things that you're going to need your resources for, such as defensive abilities. maybe major cooldowns for large monsters. So you don't want to starve yourself of resources, but why waste them if you don't have to? Another thing to keep in mind right now, and I can't really show it off too much, is to think about effective damage. You want to use the right ability for the right job. In this case, Entangling Shot, as you know, does less than Hungry, because that does 115. But it's great for snares. So it kind of makes it not a great example for what I want to talk about here, because the damage is so low because it snares. But I want you to think about this. If I'm killing a mob with Hungering Arrow, and that mob dies in one hit, Hungering Arrow has the chance to return, to basically bound around, hit again, and not only that, but it does a lot of damage. It does 115% weapon damage. Now let's say that a monster will die in just that 75% weapon damage.
Not enough hatred.
If I kill that monster with Hungering Arrow, I'm basically overkilling it by about 40%. I could maximize my killing potential if there's more than one of those monsters next to each other by using Entangling Shot and killing the two rather than firing twice with Hungering.
I can no longer deny the true nature of the evil that rises from the depths of the cathedral. It is almost too horrible to admit the truth of it. It is the Dark Lord of Terror, Diablo himself, who plagues us.
Keep in mind, these are kind of high-level concepts, so this is more for those of you that are kind of progress a bit further. The effective damage and things like that really don't come into play until you start making builds later on, and you're going to have a mix of monsters that die quickly and monsters that take a while to kill.
A hero, like what?
Added on to this is, of course, effective use of, say, your resources as far as your damages go.
Doesn't feel right being in Uncle Deckard's room when he's not here.
For example, wizards with, say, Arcane Orb. Arcane Orb is a hard-hitting spell, but it's an AoE spell. You could technically kill a single target, like a boss like the Skeleton King, with Arcane Orb, but your damage is better off using a spell that's more efficient because it's a longer fight. Because if you start using abilities that take all of your resources while you're in a fight that's going to last you a long time, you're actually going to end up taking longer to win that fight. Efficient spells and ones that hit harder are going to be really good. So sometimes what you want to do is you want to take into account what I usually like to call, I call it the resource per damage. For example here, 25 hatred for 250 weapon damage. I have nothing to really compare it to right now. But you can pretty much just calculate it. You take the damage at 250% and you just divide that by the 25 hatred, And so there you would get 10, basically it's 10 damage per hatred that you're getting there. And that can tell you your efficiency of your spell. So even though a spell might not be the hardest hitting single ability you have, so that's what you have to keep in mind. Just because a spell hits really hard doesn't make it efficient and doesn't make it your best choice for long fights. Alright, I've got a offhand there. Now, it might be a bit early to be going into these concepts right now, just kind of leveling, but it's something I did want to talk about that I wanted to go into. And it seems now is as good a time as any, since I'm going over kind of old content again. And it might give some of you, again, that are new, maybe something to look at, to consider when you start to play as well. Again, it's not something you have to worry about now. But these are the kind of things that will keep you going in the end game.
Look, a hidden cellar. Follow me.
Your mother had her secrets.
People said she was a witch, but I never believed it.
Daltyn. Alright, now this is new. I saw this on Diablo fans there. He is no longer just straight up cold enchanted. He will use these frost orbs that spawn and explode. Now right now they're not doing a lot. I'll go ahead and use a potion though. Well, of course he dropped a health orb. He has a lot more health now too. He's not dropping that quickly. I think I'm going to get hit. Oh, nope. Just barely avoided that. So that is completely new, those orbs. The likes I've never seen. I wonder if cold enchant monsters will be doing that from now on, or if that's just a unique ability to him, or maybe other mobs like him. So I don't know about that. That'll be something we'll have to find out at the end game. Alright, new ability, Caltrops cost 6 discipline. You lay a trap of Caltrops on the ground that activates when an enemy approaches, and once sprung, the Caltrops slow the movement of enemies within 12 yards by 60%. The trap lasts for 6 seconds. Now, Caltrops, this is one of them that's been buffed, because it used to be 8 discipline. It's now 6. So you can use it a little more often. So its cost has been dropped by 2.
Aiden came to me last night.
And what I'll do really quick is, let's assume we had the old on 8.
I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell
That would basically let you use Caltrops about 3.75 is the true number, but only about 3 times. You could use 3 Caltrops and then you'd be out of discipline. Of course, with regeneration, that means you probably would actually get 4 Caltrops out of your discipline. But of course, now that it's 6, you can just take the 30 over 6, and you get 5 uses. So it's 1 more use, technically, possibly 2, again with the regeneration considered. And that's not taking into account that there's going to be items that increase our discipline levels. You're going to get maximum discipline. You're going to get discipline regeneration boons. Having this reduced in cost is very nice. Now, the twist to this is that certain abilities like passives, and I can't go into them now, but some ability, runes and things like that, of course I don't have runes unlocked either, would let you gain discipline for certain acts. Those abilities that gave you discipline have been nerfed slightly, or in some cases heavily, but they have been nerfed. But I think all around they still work out. So certain builds that were relying on getting discipline through your abilities, okay, yeah, that may not work as well as it used to. But overall, for anyone that wasn't using those, this is a boon. So you can see I'm trying to do efficient use of my abilities here.
So this is where the stuff.
Trying to play intelligently a bit more here. Except for when I miss targets. Alright. Yes. He's inside you. I get it. Alright. Let's go ahead and use this. Short bow. 6.3 damage per second. 1 to 8. I do lose 1 minimum damage, but hey, that's perfectly fine because I gain 5 more maximum. So, very good. Only that 1.4 compared to 1.2, so I gain more maximum damage and I gain attack speed. So that means I can't use my shield anymore because it's a two-hander. That's fine. I will take that for the damage. Hey, look, life regen belt. There we go. +1, +1, +1. I won't be picking up tons and tons of items as I go. I'm only doing it now to make up for the lost gold.
My name is Daltyn, and I'm cursed. Once the captain of King Leoric's army, I lived only to honor my land and my king. No man has a greater love for his king than I had for mine, even as I drove my blade through his dark and corrupted heart.
So keep in mind too, I don't like to break every... I'm doing it a bit more now just because of the lost gold as well, and crafting items, because I'm going to want to go over crafting. I know it's not very fun to kind of watch me just break barrels, but keep in mind that the way this game plays out is magic find and gold find work across everything. You have the potential, albeit low, to find some of the best items in the game, even from barrels, ashes, overturned tiles, everything. They're the random chance. That's exactly what this game is. It's all about random chance. Now, you will have a much easier time of finding loot by farming champions or rare packs of monsters. Basically the blue-colored or yellow-colored monsters. They will always drop more loot, therefore you have a higher chance of getting anything from them. But once you get to, say, Inferno mode, which is just pretty much everything is level 61 and up, then all bets are off. You want to break everything probably on your way. You know, don't waste too much time breaking things, because then that becomes inefficient. But if there's things on your way, if you've got an ability that lets you hit things in a group, by all means, have at it. Hit them. Break as much stuff as possible that won't slow you down. I found rare items in the oddest places, really. Definitely feel like I'm killing a little slower. Of course, I am using Entangling. And I don't have the awesome weapon anymore. Last time I played Demon Hunter, I got really lucky with a weapon drop. So I definitely am wanting to go over crafting. They have done another tuning pass on crafting. So gold and material costs have once again changed on the blacksmith. So I will be taking a look at that. Oh, hey there, guy. Slow down. Now, for those curious, the snare on Caltrops does not stack with the snare on Entangling.
Feel my hatred.
I did test that. I tested it on some rare packs of monsters, and they were moving. I mean, they were being snared. I could tell because I didn't have the runed Caltrops. I used regular Caltrops, and they were slowing down when they hit Caltrops, but they did not slow down any further when I also hit them with Entangling. So if you're wondering about stacking snares, it's really not going to work. What happens is the larger snare of the two will take effect. So if you have, say, runed Caltrops, which slows everything down by 80%, and then you hit something with Entangling, you will slow them by 80%. That's it. And I do realize I'm kind of sitting at full resource a little more often than I should be here. There. You know, this kind of concept about spending your resources intelligently and as you get them, this is something I believe those of you who play RTSs would, or real-time strategy games would really know about. because, you know, there's an art to being able to generate resources through, be it, you know, say Warcraft, where you're getting gold, lumber, and oil, generating them and then using them effectively. Because if you're generating a bunch of resources and you never use them, then you've wasted time, and you've also wasted resources because you spent resources in resource gathering.
Not enough hatred.
These are very high-level concepts. I'm not... I'll admit I'm not the best at those, simply because I never went into them too much. What am I? I'm kind of hardcore slash casual at the same time. I play games quite often, but I play a lot of games, so it's not like I sit down and get super good at any one of them. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, as it were. Which is why, if you look at my channel, you'll see things like tribes and battlefield footage out there. Alright, really fast. Let's make sure there's nothing I can use. Hey, 7. 1 to 8. 0.56, so I gain 0.16 attacks per second. That's perfectly fine. Same damage, so I will use it. And even better, 8.5. This one has more minimum damage. It's slower attack speed, but more damage, which I actually like that. I kind of like doing a little more damage than attacking quickly right now as a demon hunter. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a second hand crossbow, because at some point I'm going to want to go over kind of the ins and outs of... oh, hey. Magic find. I'll take that. You know what? Life regen is probably better. Okay, I want to go kind of through the ins and outs of, say, dual wielding to two-handers. There are a lot of things to consider. Part of its style, I honestly like the Demon Hunter with a bow, with a two-handed bow. I think that looks very cool, honestly. Not only that, but the armor types of Demon Hunters, you might notice even here in this simple set, his offhand here is not armored, where his bow hand here is. So a lot of the armor sets will do that. They'll give you one arm armored, the other not, to kind of reflect the flexibility you have to have in the arm that's pulling the string. Oh, hey. A rare pack.
Not enough hatred.
Whoop. Slow down, buddy.
I have more control now.
Very nice. Now, of course, in these rare packs, for those of you who don't know, they do drop more items, very good loot, but you have to kill the entire pack before they do. There is no lead monster to kill to give the loot. As opposed to champions, which are the gold ones, they'll have a unique name, and they will always drop loot. Sometimes they have rare monsters with them. Sometimes they just have regular minions. Minions are... I want to say minions are kind of in between rares and normal monsters. They're not quite as tough as rares sometimes, but they are not as weak as normal monsters usually. They sometimes inherit the properties of the monster that spawns them, so if the monster is, say, cold enchanted, the minions will be cold enchanted. So once I'm done here, I've got a new skill. I've got rapid fire. That's a favorite of mine. Let's go here. Rapid fire, 20 hatred initially, 10 hatred while channeling. Rapidly fire for 228% weapon damage as physical. Now here's the thing, this is kind of where I'm talking about using damage per hatred, or damage per resource. This obviously doesn't hit as hard as Impale. Impale hits harder, but as you can see here, the initial cost is actually more. It's a little it'll betray you a little bit here. Let me go ahead and put that on, and get the 5 seconds to pass. Because what happens here is you'll see, it says 20 initially, but that first 20 is just to use the ability. It's boom. Okay, you've started using this ability. There's 20 hatred down. And then you will get the 228 after the first tick, or channeled tick. So that means, I'll kind of show it off here. See, I'm at 125. Start it, and there I'm already at 105. So even without hitting anything, and see if I tap it here, you'll see just how quickly my hatred goes down. That's bad. That's very bad. So what that means is the 228, the very first 228 is based on your first tick, and that's based on weapon speed. I would normally say 228 per second. That's kind of a lie. It's based on here. So we're basically looking at 228 every... I'm not going to be able to do that math quite in my head. I'm not that quick. But I do basically 1.5 attacks every second. So it should happen before the first second's up. But what that's basically saying is the very first 228 is going to cost me 30 hatred. All right. So even though I can't tell you, I'm not good at the quick math. I can't tell you exactly when it'll tick, but I can tell you this: that first one is going to cost you 30. 228 first time, 30. After that, 228 for 10. So initially, this spell is inefficient, especially compared to Impale. Does less damage, costs 5 more hatred. But as you use it, you will be far more efficient. So we said what, 10 damage per hatred for the last one. So for this, if we take the 228 and let's just say for the initial 30, it's actually 7.6. Definitely less efficient. But if you take that out and you do the 228 over the 10, and you'll see that you're going to be doing 22.8 every hatred. Far more efficient. Double the efficiency. It is honestly double the efficiency. This spell is more for long fights. So even though, say I'm fighting a boss like the Skeleton King... Oh hey, better bow. Put that on. I might want to hit him hard. For example, use Impale, because that's my hardest hitting spell, and he's a tough monster. I want him to die. Well, I'm not going to kill him that quickly. I want to use my efficient spell. And the beautiful thing about efficient spells is that I'm still regaining resource as I fight. So let's say I was attacking once a second, which we all know I'm actually attacking faster than once a second right now. But assuming it was once a second, I would be getting 4 resource back for every tick. That's costing me 10. What that means is I am actually spending only 6 hatred for every second. Again, this is assuming once a second. This is not the actual numbers that you'll be seeing. But that's what you have to take into account as well for high-level play, is that your resource generation will actually negate some of the cost of your abilities. So rapid fire is horrible in bursts. Keep that in mind if you decide to use rapid fire. You want to have time to sit there and attack. You want to give yourself at least 2 ticks worth. So in this case... maybe 2-3 seconds. As long as you have enough time for it to tick twice, then you've basically gained efficiency. You're fine. Oh, hello. Pretty big pack here. Let's see here. There we go. And that's far more efficient, because if I was using Impale right there, and again, this harkens back to the effective damage. If I was using Impale right there, I could have attacked 4 times and killed 4 zombies. I just killed an entire group using 1 skill. Big difference. Alright, before I move in... Poor Deckard's getting chased by the Skeleton King. You know, I'm kind of tempted not to help him. Last time I talked to him, he was kind of a dick to me. Oh, hey, no, it's him you want to kill, not me. I'm scrawny, look at me. No, me. Oh, he's old, that won't work. I'm stringy. I don't taste good, I promise.
I'm here to rescue you. Help!
Help! Oh, help me!
Because if you don't, I swear to God, I'll kill you myself. Oh! These skeletons will be the least of your worries. You think Diablo's bad if you don't help me. Oh, so help me.
There we go. That was honestly right there probably not a very good use of rapid fire. I stopped for pretty much one tick to kill a monster. And that was it. So now I'm going to slow him down, get myself some range, and use the efficiency of the spell. There we go. Goodbye, head cleaver.
My bag is too heavy.
Alright. Well, we're about to go back to town, so let's see. That is a 6.3. I don't need that. For those that don't know, that's control. You can hold down control, take a look at the stats of an item. Oh, hey! They fixed it. Oh, no, they didn't. Okay. This is new. I just found this out. Okay. So, holding down control will let you look at items on the ground. But as you can see, I cannot compare the items on the ground to what I'm wearing. So, this is great if I want to compare a couple items on the ground. Sure. Or maybe I know, like my weapon right now is a 9. 9-1. As far as DPS goes. Well, I can look at that and see it's 6-3. Okay, I don't need it. But I can't compare it easily. Well, apparently if you have your inventory window up, there it is. As long as you've got the inventory window up, you can see it. Alright, so that's nice to know. I don't need that, and the crude cloth tunic obviously don't need that either. Let's go ahead, Kane.
Oh, thank you, Leah. Oh, it is wonderful to hear that Leah is well. I fear the worst.
I don't want to keep my back to him too often. Go. I'm not trusting you.
We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me.
Whoa! Hello. Aaron Bright. Deceased Bard. Okay, I just, on a whim, decided to... Oh, cold. He's cold. Look at that. Just like Daltyn. Okay, on a whim, I decided to go over here. I don't even know why. There was no reason for me to go here. And he just comes out of the ground, a unique monster. Okay, that's pretty cool. Honestly, you know what this says? When you play this game, look in corners. Seriously. Look everywhere. Random events can happen at any time, and we don't know what triggers them. Yet. Granted, you go to Diablo fans, I'm sure they'll start posting everything you ever need to know. Not only that, but Blizzard might eventually make a site of their own. But this right here, was not expecting it. And that's, just check every corner, seriously. That was highly unexpected. I did not know there was going to be anything out here. So let's get rid of some of these really cheapy 2 gold items and pick up what he got me. Dagger and a sash. Okay, cool. Okay, that was awesome. I hope that was interesting for you guys as it was for me, because I had no idea that there was something that could possibly spawn there. Okay, nothing out here. Let's go back to town. And it has most likely been over half an hour. Let's quickly just see if Kane has another journal. I can't remember if he does. No. No skills that I missed, correct? Correct. Okay. I'm going to help Hadrig out. And we'll end it there. That's what I usually do. So that means in the next part we'll go over crafting.
Found some interesting things on my latest dig.
I'm not going to look at these two in depth. Oh, no, wait. Keep that for now. Okay. So before I end this... A couple things. Obviously, Hadrig. We have to help Hadrig. There was something else.
Yes. You've got to promise me you'll take good care of whatever I sell you.
Miscellaneous, health potions, he can repair. Okay, nothing really new on him, but... things are slowing down. Okay. Reddick the Fence. He has got a new tab. This is the guy you talk to if you want bows. Let's see, he's got a pretty nice one here, and I can even buy it. 11.9 is a lot of damage, 2 to 4 poison, and I get damage converted to life. This is the guy you go to for bows. But not only that, he has trinkets now. This is completely new. He didn't have these before. And what's especially interesting about this is, as you can see, these are rings. They removed rings from item drops in the beta, except for very, very specific locations with higher monster levels. So now there's a chance to buy rings, and they're level 6. So when you hit level 6, if you've got the gold, there you go. Not only that, but this first one I've got is a plus experience ring. I will be looking to this guy, because when I want to get to the level 13, I'm going to want that experience gear. Metal gear. Never mind. If you could find love on the battlefield, I'll let you know if we can get out of this alive. Take that.
Not enough hatred.
This is a long-lasting spell. Okay, the caching is kind of annoying. It's okay. We're at the end. I can tolerate it.
Forgive me.
Just to be a dick. It serves no purpose, really, other than to be funny. Well, level 6. First rune, puncturing arrow. Okay. Obtained but not discussed shall be the marker I put on my video for that, because I am not going to go into great detail of that now. I will do that in the next video. I've already spent over my half-hour segment, and I like to keep them around the half-hour mark because I find those to be a little more digestible chunks of nuggety goodness. I just referred to my videos as food. Maybe I'm hungry. Anyway. Moving along. This is part 1, levels 1 through, well, I'm just going to say 5 technically, because 6 I'm not going to talk about. There you go. Gone over some very high-level concepts, and if this video is up before part 2, because I don't know if I'm going to be doing more recording tonight, please, if there's anything else you want me to go over, if newbies, veterans alike, that you think should be good to go over these, let me know. So, in other words, leave your comments and suggestions either here or, of course, at the mailbox, which is theshadowpost@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to see what I can get in there. Alright, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thumb up if you like the content, and I will see you in the next segment.